Hello, everyone. Today is a very good title. I'm going to have to go through it pretty quick because I really like you to watch the whole damn thing because it's going to be an education for you, ladies and gentlemen, especially for those who fly, for those who own their businesses, for just the general public. Rubber stamped by China, Lockheed, Sikorsky, and the treason of trusted lawmakers, a Guberman expose. I'm a 40-year quality expert, aerospace, medical implants, materials and printing and plastic distribution, where we dealt with all kinds of different industries. In 2015, Connecticut lawmakers praised Lockheed Martin's acquisition of Sikorsky aircraft after it cleared its final hurdle, not from Congress, not from the Pentagon, but from communist China. And we have the article right over here. Okay, right there, and you can see that with China's okay, Lockheed Martin to close on the purchase of Sikorsky aircraft. You like it already? Oh, it's nice, isn't it? Senator Richard Blumenthal, Representative Rosa DeLauro, and Senator Chris Murphy hailed the international clearance as a win, celebrating Lockheed for obtaining Chinese regulatory approval. It's good news for the Connecticut, they claimed. Good news. Or the opening act of tragedy. Let's unpack the truth, shall we? The global accreditation trap, ANSI, ANAP, the International Accreditation Forum, which they founded, which is national and international accreditation bodies, equivalent to ANSI, ANAP, we'll probably repeat it again, and their sister organization, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation in Australia. ANSI and ANAP are underwriters for those accreditation bodies, which means they take on the responsibility of both systematic and product failure. Lockheed Martin and its newly acquired partner Sikorsky are both members of the American National Standards Institute and the American National Accrediting Board, private not-for-profits that operate as silent underwriters of our national quality assurance. In 2015, the same year Lockheed finalized its deal, ANSI and ANAB were already founders and key directors of the International Accreditation Forum, a Delaware-based entity overseeing accreditation policies. The IAF sister group, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation, is headquartered in Australia. But together they serve as the ultimate arbitrators of quality equivalency across the borders. So who let the IAF at that time? So who led the IAF at that time? Not an American, not even NATO ally. The IAF between 2015 and 21 was chaired by Zhao Jinwu, a communist Chinese national mandated by the China National Intelligence Law Article Number 7 to report all data back to Beijing. He's been involved with our quality since 1994. He simultaneously ran the China National Accreditation Services, the very body that certified the infamous Wuhan Institute of Virology's Biolevel 4 laboratory. This man, embedded in global quality infrastructure since 1994, was approving certifications on American defense suppliers while holding Chinese intelligence obligations because he was the chairman of the IAF, and ANSI and ANAP were on there with those federal agencies and corporations like the DOD, the DHS. We're going to continue on. Lockheed Martin wasn't just complicit. They were involved. They sat as an associate member of the IAF that watched China, Iran, Pakistan be granted equivalency to ANSI-ANAP and said nothing. This despite Iran's leak to harboring 9/11 terrorists, Pakistan hiding Osama bin Laden, China stealing the F-35 data in 2009, then Sikorsky Helicopters, Division of United Technologies in 2012. Yet these countries still sat on the IAF next to Lockheed Martin, the Department of Commerce, DOJ, FDA, and DHS, all while ANSI and ANAP act as international gatekeepers of U.S. standards. And remember this, they are, here it is. This shows you that the Department of Commerce, Homeland Security, Department of Justice, and the FDA are not just members on the board of ANSI-ANAP, they're customers. Isn't that nice? The F-35 fiasco. Where is he? Let's get him over here. He's got to be here. Yes, we do. Good. In 2024, the F-35 fiasco and silence of the Pentagon. In 2024, Senator Matt Gaetz cornered Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in a hearing. Did we buy a $100 million paperweight in the F-35? Austin, unable to deny it, replied, "It's a complex aircraft." Later, he admitted only 29% of the F-35s were flight ready. Meanwhile, in 2017, a couple years back, Trump's Deputy Secretary of Defense and former Boeing executive Patrick Shanahan told Congress the F-35 is fucked up. And here he is with the actual comment. You can look that up. That was taken off Time magazine, all right? He said it. Trump's acting defense chief was accused of calling the F-35 fucked up. He told investigators it was awesome. Nice, isn't that? He said the F-35 is fucked up. I mean, the program is fucked up. And who audits these programs? Who certifies their suppliers? ANSI ANAP, under the international umbrella of the IAF. Fraud at the federal level, the money trail, and the law. ANSI and ANAP are nonprofits, but they have federal agencies as paying members, and some are even a lot of customers. Some are customers. This is more than a conflict of interest. It is a violation of public trust, and let's talk about the numbers. A Department of Commerce employee received $120,000 from ANSI ANAP on top of his federal salary. A DHS representative took home $262,000 plus government pay, while ANSI and ANAP were advertised on DHS website. The FDA, which empowers ANSI ANAP to perform food safety audits, is simultaneously a customer, board member, and a federal regulator. This violates a slew of statutes, including 18 U.S.C. 208, acts affecting a personal financial interest, 5 CFR 2635.502, personal and business relationships creating conflict of interest, 31 U.S.C. 1342, prohibits voluntary services by federal agents, federal employees, 5 CFR 2635.101, standards of ethical conduct. It gets worse. The National Institute of Standards and Technology, as also under the Department of Commerce, runs the Manufacturing Extension Partnership. MEP receives both state and federal funds, and a whistleblower inside once admitted, we have the email, since we're not for profits, we'd share money with other nonprofits, we'd call it money laundering. Indeed, 64.85% of MEP's budget goes to salaries, management, not manufacturing. Who will stop this? Only one man has tried. While Elon Musk prepares to step away from the Department of Government Efficiency, only Daryl Guberman has been exposing this corruption since around 2012, has offered a real solution. He's testified, he's filed, he's exposed the fraud of ANSI, ANAP, and IAF and ILAC with names, faces, and federal documents. But Guberman has been shunned. Why? Because the DOJ still sits on ANSI, ANAP's board. Because the FBI, DOD, DHS, and DOC, Department of Commerce, all represent the same agencies on ANSI, ANAP boards. Different orchestra leaders, same corrupt tune. And though through it all, China, Iran, Pakistan remain equal to America on paper and in the global accreditation system. Conclusion, if they sit with the enemy, do they condone the attack? Our federal agencies sit on the international boards right next to the same regimes that hid 9/11 terrorists, stole our secrets, and manipulated our supply chains. We must ask, did they know? Do they know? And if they knew, do they condone it? If this is not just regulatory capture, this is national treason via quality assurance. Only I, Daryl Guberman, not Mr. Elon Musk, not Congress, has dared to say it. Give him a platform and he will dismantle it. Give him a mandate and he will rebuild America's standards from the ground up, because that's what we need. Because right now, we're still being Bidenized. Even though Donald Trump is there, President Trump, we still have Bidenized, Obamanized, and it's disgusting until they get a hold of me. 203-556-1493. And I thank you.